First up, Lions favored by 10 points against Caleb in the Bears. Detroit, a mainstay, of course, on Thanksgiving brew, but has lost 7 in a row. Look at their record here. Had a little happiness there, and then 0 for 7. So I expect them to bounce back, but is this a must-win for Detroit?
It is, because there is an aura, a mystique growing about the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
They keep crushing everyone.
Yeah.
They take no games lightly.
True.
There's a little fear even growing about the Lions. If they lose to a rookie quarterback on a 4-win team, all of that goes away. They're good, but now they're viewed like the Packers and these other good teams. Not unstoppable. Not to mention, right now they have control of the number 1 seed. If they lose this game, now it's in flux. Who knows, how things pan out. But they don't have a stranglehold on that. And finally, you want to, Caleb is a rising rookie quarterback.
In your division.
In your division, right. You want to put the foot down. You want to put your hand on his throat and don't give him any inkling that he can beat you. Oh, you're a great team, but I still beat you in my rookie year? That will be a problem going forward, so must win for the Lions.
Yeah, I don't see it as deep as that. To me, it's a must-win because all they've done is completely blow up all the terrible records that have been associated with the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
And this is another one of those terrible records in terms of their performance on Thanksgiving that they've got to blow up. And it's not about the division. It's not about anything else. It's just about putting that narrative to rest.
Not a must-win, but Minnesota, they're on a 9-game winning streak. It's definitively not a must-win. But Brew's point about controlling their own destiny as the 1 seed goes deeper. If they lose this game, they no longer control that division. Minnesota controls its destiny on winning the division if they lose this game. Now, and by the way, Detroit's games after this: Green Bay, Buffalo, would be Chicago again, at San Francisco, and then the Vikings in Week 18. And so it is not this should be their easiest game left on their schedule, because the only other losing team they play, San Francisco has a losing record, but is the Bears again, but that one's in Chicago. So I think it is an important game for them because, again, is the point that I made earlier in the week, it's not so much are they going to be the 1 or the 2, it's that if they're not the 1, is it because Minnesota caught them in the division? Now all of a sudden they're the 5, even if they have the 4th best record in the whole NFL. But no team on this long of a winning streak has a must-win. They're allowed to lose a game.
Incorrect. Bruce gets the points. They're 0-7. You guys think you're hot stuff? You're going to go to 0-8 on Thanksgiving? You're not ready for prime time. Dan Campbell, save your speeches.
Isn't that the point that I made?
That is the point he made.
That's the point I made.
It doesn't matter what you say. It matters what I hear. Okay?
He's the only one who made
the
Can I file an
It wasn't even
appeal?
close.
U.S. women's gymnastics team style? Coach and Brew both said it's a must-win. Brew said for a bunch of reasons. Coach said exactly what you're saying is the correct answer.
Again, it's like a song. It doesn't matter. You ever hear that song, like Happy Song? You're like, hold on, that song's about doing drugs? Doesn't matter. This is what you kind of feel.
I tried to help.
This is like
What you hear.
It's like boxing.
Yeah.
4 o'clock on Fox. Giants are in Detroit. Not in Detroit, they're in Dallas. Mike McCarthy looking to hold on to his job, maybe. Cowboys have owned this matchup, going 14-1 in their last 15 games. Coach, you like the Giants in here, maybe? Is this a must-win for Dallas?
Yeah, I think this could be this. I thought about this as an upset alert for the Giants because, Dallas just gets a big win, and what do they always do? They always, go back to the mean, go back to the problems that they've had after an exciting an exciting period of time. They're 0-5 at home. They used to be 16. They had a 16-0 run at home. It's absolutely a must-win if you're trying to save your job, but it's probably going to be more problematic than you think because there's so much enthusiasm from the last time they won.
Brew, go ahead.
It's a must-win. All right, Mike McCarthy's fighting for his job. It's on the board. We all know that he actually returns next year, and you got to win. You got to maybe win out, but you definitely got to beat Drew Lock and the New York Giants. You mentioned, Coach, they're 0-5 at home. You 0-6, and you lost to a backup quarterback. I get that Cooper Rush is playing. And even though none of us think they're going to make the playoffs, you still are mathematically very much alive if you win this game. So must win.
Must lose.
Must lose.
Yeah, for the future. Sorry, Coach, you're not going to like this. Earmuff it. They need to move on from McCarthy. Like, the only way they're going to actually have a chance to change, and I don't even think McCarthy is the primary problem in Dallas, but the only way they're going to have a chance to actually change some of the systemic issues there is if they have a new head coach who is going to actually have the power of a fresh new contract that no matter what he says to Jerry to get the job, once he gets the job, it starts being his voice leading the team and he pushes back against it. If they lose this game, Jerry's going to be done with McCarthy. He's not going to lose to a team you have owned with 40 million people watching. It's a must lose. Give me the point.
Obviously, and again, guys, it's nuanced. It goes clockwise. Brew, Coach, Nick. So then I started here. Coach, he said go ahead, and you took it, and then he ran the anchor leg and got the point.
I should have been like, no, you go.
Yeah, and then once you hear must lose, you'd be like, must lose? Yeah. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Friday.
He tricked me.
Chiefs Ravens.
I did that on purpose.
Antonio Pierce got a win last Christmas against the Chiefs. But Week 8, Chiefs won pretty much every category in Mahomes' it will get handled when
this
it gets
was another
handled.
game that people told me was so close they could have lost.
Kermit revenge game. Nick, you can start here.
Yeah.
Is this a must-win for Antonio Pierce?
Yeah, I think it's the only way he can keep his job. Sorry again to fire another coach. But I think that my guess is the Raiders would like next year to be a year of reinvention. They just brought in Tom.
Yeah.
They're going to have a top 5 pick. Antonio's calling them the worst team in the league. And you would probably want to learn from the mistakes of the Chicago Bears, which twice now have had a coach on the hot seat, drafted a quarterback high, Justin Fields and then Caleb number 1, and both years like, let's give that coach one more year with the quarterback we just drafted. That then doesn't go great. They then fire that coach after a year, as I think they're going to do with Eberflus, and now it's like, our new coach, the new he didn't draft the quarterback, and now he's on second coach, all of it. So the only way that I think the Raiders don't do that is if Antonio's like, hey, I've got their number. I go to Arrowhead and win. They had beat us 14 games in a row, or however long the winning streak was, ever since Gruden ran the bus around the stadium, and now he's doing podcasts. And so I just think that for Antonio, it's a must-win because he's got to have something to hang his hat on. It's like, hey, I've got the Mahomes solved. So, yeah, it's a must-win.
Okay.
Go ahead, Coach.
No.
No. This is not a must-win for Antonio. He's done. They're 2-9. Last year was the late season surge that saved your job.
True.
Last year you beat the Chiefs.
He was the interim last year.
I know, you beat the Chiefs, you won 3 of your last 4, and ownership was like, oh my. They believed you had the recipe for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then you start out winning 2 of your first 11 games. That's over.
Dan Campbell started 0-10-1.
Antonio Pierce is done. He beat the Chiefs and the ownership's still going to be
Raiders stick
Yeah,
with it.
we fell for that last year. It's actually a must-win, though. For the Chiefs. For the Chiefs, because here's why. What they do 3 weeks ago, they were fortunate. Now, they made it happen, but fortunate to beat Denver. Then they lost to Buffalo. Then they struggled against Carolina. You go out and lose to the hapless Raiders when the Raiders are jump to you in the past.
All divisional games
you
were
better
tough.
win this game.
Hold on.
I
thought all
you
divisional
better
games
win this
were tough.
game. You had your turn, Nick. You better win this game. It's a must-win for the Chiefs, and Antonio Pierce is done no matter what.
Coach.
If you say you got the recipe, you better cook. Must win.
Come on.
It was too short. I cooked on that.
I know that was good,
Yeah,
but that was good.
But also,
you weren't even in the running. You weren't even in the running. Did you show the schedule at one point?
It went on for 45 minutes.
Wait,
I
you're
took a
giving
nap.
it to Brew?
I cooked on that. turned it around.
Yours was good, Coach. It was like a nice.
Coach almost, yeah. Coach was,
Coach come in with it was.
Coach was slide.
No, Coach,
I
yours
go
was
in
good.
detail.
You were like one shot. You just let.
It just doesn't
Did
matter.
I get 2 points for
No,
that?
you got one.
I am
Let's go.
calling
That's
a
right.
fix on this thing.
Steelers in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh is in first place. They won 5 straight. Joe Burrow off a bye, however, very, very good, including a win over Pittsburgh in 2022. So, is this a must-win for Cincinnati? Brew, you are now going first again.
Look, it's a literal must-win. They want to make the playoffs. They need to win this game. If they lose this game, good chance they're out. That'd be 8 losses, 9-8. I don't know that that's going to get it done. And we just look at you like, how are you going to beat some of these teams? You got Denver again. You got Pittsburgh again. I don't know that you'll win Tennessee, which is, okay. No, it's a must-win.
Okay. Not much.
Yeah, this just goes on and on. It's like hanging out with your friend, and he can't stop talking about his ex. Like, when are we going to stop talking about Cincinnati? We've been talking about them coming. They're going to come. They're going to hit a stride. They're like Joe Burrow. I get it, but at some point they've got to produce at a consistent level. Otherwise, we just get a new girlfriend.
Love that.
Well done, Coach.
I think Coach
You just want to
deserves
pass.
It's all tied up, but now it's time for the money.
No, I'm up.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're up too. Sorry, I did.
As long
I gotta.
as Nick didn't get the
It's like
point,
mini
that was
golf. 2 to 1 to 1. Okay, now it's time for the money ball. Money question. Texans, Jacksonville. Ooh. Prince might be back on his feet. C.J. Stroud might not be with the protection he's not getting. He's taken the second most sacks, most hits, and most pressures. Coach, you got to lead off here. Is this a must-win for C.J., your guy?
No, it's a must-win for me. I've got to sit next to Nick every single week and hear him badmouth CJ because I got bamboozled into going against everything I believe in and anointing a second-year quarterback way too early, which I apologize for. And I've learned from my mistake.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
It's a must-win for me.
Go ahead, bro.
No.
So this is
Fool me once.
This is totally, and I know I'm not going to get the point because I'm going against what the scorer believes, but I'm going to give America the truth, just like I did on the Eagles-Ravens pick. I owe America the truth.
He's
more
attacking
than
you to try to get the point.
I'm just letting you know right now. It is totally dependent on if that guy that we just showed, the Prince, is back or not. If CJ is playing the McCorkle-Jones-led Jaguars, it is unequivocally, undeniably, absolutely a must-win.
True.
Nobody wants to be the guy that loses the last game anyone ever lost to Mac
Pro
Jones.
Bowler.
Coach, you had your time. And
I have a hard time,
and so
He is.
if they are playing the Jags with Mac Jones, who in the 2 games played with Mac Jones at quarterback have looked like far and away the worst offense in football. We all pre-fired Doug Peterson after the last game. Everyone forgot about that. On our Monday morning meeting, we were like, where are we going to fit into the show Doug Peterson got fired? They never fired him. So if Mac is playing, it's a must-win. If Trevor's playing, there's no shame in losing to the Prince. And I mean, Trevor, I'm just letting you know right now, I know Coach is big on anointing these guys early and giving these young quarterbacks MVPs and all these things. And I know everybody loves CJ Stroud and he's the flavor of the month. Fact of the matter is this. Trevor Lawrence, the Prince, who you guys just trash all the time, same amount of playoff wins as C.J. Stroud, same amount of winning seasons as C.J. Stroud, same amount of division titles as C.J. Stroud. He's suffered significant injuries. If he is back now and they win, that division is all of a sudden in question. If the Colts can catch them. So, yeah, it depends on who the quarterback is. That's the answer.
That's not even an answer. Okay, I'm taking a detour because Nick is trying to have his cake and eat it too. He has dumped Trevor Lawrence.
No, I have not.
Trevor Lawrence, he dropped him like a bad habit about a month ago.
He got hurt.
Now you saw how bad they looked with Mac Jones. And now you're trying to weasel your way in back to now all of a sudden he's calling him the Prince. I haven't heard the Prince in like 5 weeks. All right, now he's the Prince. He was Trevor Lawrence.
No, he
was Trevor Lawrence, Clemson graduate a few weeks ago. Now all of a sudden he's back to being the Prince. No, I am not going for it. It's definitely a must-win for CJ because the schedule. They're 7-5. All right, they look like they have a stranglehold in that division, but they don't. And they got Miami, Kansas City, Baltimore, and Tennessee coming up.
Yeah.
They
You were
better.
good, and then you lost it on
What? It's true. It's a fact.
Who
I
gets
know, but just to see the schedule.
KW?
They didn't, Dusty. I didn't call for it. I just said it. You didn't have to put it up. You gonna let a mistake by Dusty cost me?
Happy Thanksgiving to Chris Broussard. What a win.
Yeah, boy, that's what I'm talking about.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.